Boruto Two Blue Vortex, Chapter 14 is officially here. The leaks have arrived this evening and we have the full translations. Now the first thing that I will say is that this chapter is another insane one. We are seeing the interrogation of Boruto Uzumaki, and the stuff around the chapter has perhaps led me to a thought process that Kawaki might not be fully Otsutsuki, and by way, he might also be being affected by Omnipotence. Now I will explain what I mean in a minute when we get to the panel, but before we do that I would like to ask if you could leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. It would help me out so much. Thank you so much, and let's get right into it. The chapter begins where we left off in chapter 13, where Boruto, we of course got the crazy long flashback with Kashin Koji, but the chapter ended with the capturing of Boruto by Konoha. And this is where we start. We start with the interrogation of Boruto Uzumaki. We have Boruto, we have Konoha, and we have Ibiki in the room, with Shikamaru and others in the surrounding area kind of giving their thoughts as the chapter progresses. Now, of course, Boruto is sealed by these sealing cuffs that have been created by Amado. The cuffs essentially don't let any techniques activate whatsoever. They are essentially making like flying Raijin and stuff like that impossible, obviously, which means that Boruto cannot escape. He says, Konoha says, don't even think about breaking them. They're electronically controlled. It's extremely resistant to impact, so you'll just injure your arm if you try to escape. Boruto, obviously, as his true intentions are, his first thing is to ask if everyone else was okay, if anyone else got harmed or injured. And Konoha tells Boruto that the comrades that were targeted, like Sarada and Himawari, are both safe, and that Team 10 is safe as well. And this is where we get the first POV switch of the chapter, where we go to the hospital. And this was the sneak peek page, where we see that Sakura is here, alive, and hasn't been forgotten by Kishimoto and Ikimoto. Inojin is in the hospital after obviously having a fucking crater planted in him by Jura a couple of chapters ago. And Sakura is healing the final bits of the injury after Himawari done some healing using her Kurama power somehow. We still don't know how she done that. I'm sure that will be explained, but Sakura even says it right here. It's amazing that he survived such severe injuries. It's completely healed now, and Sakura says that it was a good idea to bring him to the hospital. His chakra flow was completely cut off, which makes perfect sense because the chakra essentially of a human being in the Naruto universe gathers in the stomach. That is where it's essentially produced from. And so it makes sense that when you have a crater in your stomach, well, chakra isn't going to really flow anymore, is it? And Sakura is using her medical ninjutsu expertise to essentially flow chakra through Inojin's body, like, manually, to get his chakra flowing again. So he's okay. Himawari and Sakura have played their part, and Inojin is completely healed, as we can see Team 10 and Himawari surrounding him, as well as Ino surrounding Sakura. Everybody's okay, nobody's hurt, all is good in the world. We move forward with Ino staring at obviously her extremely hurt son and having some second thoughts about this whole situation, which we will come back to, we will obviously return to later in the chapter. And then Konoha says, finally I get to talk to you, Boruto. You know, we've seen each other a couple of times since the time skip, but now we get to actually talk. Of course, we have the elders, Koharu and Homura, the 95-year-olds that should be dead and buried by now, and they're still annoying bastards 20 years after Naruto, which they were also annoying bastards in. Yet that just, I can't believe they're still around, but they are surrounding, and of course Amado is in the kind of surrounding area as well. Konoha says, those guys who attacked the Leaf Village, who are they? So, who attacked Konoha is essentially what Konoha is saying. He follows up by saying, why were Sarada and Himawari targeted too? And Shikamaru is listening in, where Ada and Damon are also, well, Ada's listening in, and Kawaki and Damon are sitting watching Ada, waiting for information based on what Ada can see with her Senrigan. Ada and Damon say that it's pretty bad for Kawaki, the situation. What are you going to do? If that guy Boruto spills everything, obviously I don't think there's anyone out there who would believe that you two are opposite sides, but if everyone finds out that you're the reason for him killing the Hokage, or the killing the Hokage is your lie, what kind of reaction will everyone have? It's probably going to be extremely negative towards Kawaki. And Ada says, I told you to stop talking about that, Damon. Don't make fun of Kawaki. Now, I think Ada is saying this, number one, because of course she cares about Kawaki a little bit deep down, and that is kind of the whole reason why this happened. But also, Ada knows that if Kawaki is cornered, he will unleash some damage and some fear in in Konoha as a whole, maybe even the whole world. Like, Kawaki is like a firework right now. He is an unlit firework, right? So it's in the box, it's okay, it's safe, right? Right now, it's not dealing any harm to Konoha as a village, right? It's not doing any external damage. However, if you are to light that firework by something, by some sort of provocation, he will be lit, and that firework that is Kawaki will explode, and that will of course lead to the destruction of Konoha. That is what is going to happen eventually, and so I think Ada is aware of that and is essentially saying, stop poking the bear, because eventually the bear will attack you. Now, will that bear be able to do any damage to Damon himself? No, but we all know that Kawaki is teetering on the edge of going full villain and destroying the entire place, and Ada knows that fine well and is trying to avoid that at all costs. Kawaki says that it won't change anything if they come out and say, if Boruto comes out and says that. Now, the next part of dialogue really fascinates me, and it's got me thinking about a couple of things involving Kawaki's future in this story, and maybe what is going on in his brain right now. Kawaki says that essentially what the bastard's claiming, aka what Boruto is claiming, is ridiculous and it won't change anything, right? The fact that the 7th disappeared because of that guy, Boruto, will never change. He's dangerous, you never know when he might go out of control. That's his true nature. Momoshiki will take control of his body sooner or later. But before that, there is a need to pull out the information he has about Shinju's in order to deal with those mysterious monsters. And that is the last we hear out of Kawaki in this chapter. Now, I think that's fascinating, and I'll tell you why right now. I'm going to save the bulk of it for a video because I think this is a great video idea, but basically to shorten it down, I think Kawaki might be being affected by Omnipotence. Now, is he fully affected by Omnipotence? No. But that's because he is at least part Otsuki, right? The 100% Otsukification of Kawaki is up in the air. We know that he's meant to be 100% Otsuki, right? That is like kind of the case. That's like the karma's on his body, but it can't be activated anymore. But he is 100% Otsuki, is what we've been told. However, we don't have something that's like completely set in stone, like Boruto being 100% Otsuki, because obviously we know that because Momoshiki had to use the last bit of data to save his life. So in that moment, it was 100% confirmed, as it was shown to us, that Boruto is 100% Otsuki, okay? In my opinion, the way that Kawaki's acting is very strange, and his combat ability kind of backs this up. Now, of course, Kawaki, I think it's very strange that he says... I think it's very strange that Kawaki says the thing about the 7th disappearing because of Boruto will never change. I think that's very weird. Now, Kawaki has no reason to lie to Ada and Damon. Ada and Damon know exactly what happened. They are the reason that this happened, right? Like, Ada is not under Omnipotence. Ada doesn't think that Kawaki is Boruto and Boruto is Kawaki or anything like that, obviously. So Kawaki has no reason to lie. And so I think that sentence coming out of Kawaki's mouth is either him trying to believe his own bullshit, or he's actually being tricked into believing that. And again, his kind of thought process about Boruto, saying that he's dangerous and you never know why he might go out of control, That's Boruto's true nature. Momoshiki will take control of his body sooner or later. That part doesn't matter as much. However, that's his true nature is definitely not the truth. And Kawaki knows that that is definitely not the truth. Boruto is not somebody who might just go out of control randomly, like in terms of his personality. That's not his nature. It's Momoshiki's nature. That's the danger that Momoshiki presents, but that's not Boruto's true nature. It's as if Kawaki genuinely believes that Boruto is a scumbag, and I have no idea why. Because before they had that little thing where Kawaki's like, sorry, but I have to kill you, like, you know, you are Otsutsuki, so I will kill you. Before that, they were brothers and they were getting on fine. It's not like Kawaki hates Boruto. He does not hate Boruto. His true nature is not evil, and Kawaki knows that. So I think this is bizarre, and it could lead to some interesting plot lines if it's revealed that Kawaki is less Otsutsuki than we maybe realise, and Kawaki might actually be being affected by Omnipotence. Also, Kawaki's combat ability, it definitely does play into this, because, like, bro, he is getting beaten by guys that should just not do anything to a full Otsutsuki. If Kawaki is 100% Otsutsuki, right, so he is a god, essentially, right, he is an alien, he is a celestial being now. Mitsuki knocked him out, off guard. That's not right. That just can't be right. Why is Boruto a million miles ahead of Kawaki? Obviously, you could use the 10 direction Shinjutsu as a kind of explanation for that. However, I think Boruto is just so far ahead of Kawaki that it's like, it shouldn't be that big of a gap, even with the Shinjutsu. Like, Boruto is genuinely astronomically stronger than Kawaki. And so Kawaki, to me, is weak. He was embarrassed by Jura. He was knocked out by Mitsuki. He keeps taking L's in this time skip. He was cornered by a Clawground that hadn't even evolved into a Shinju yet. Kawaki is weak, and that just can't be the case if he's 100% Otsutsuki. Maybe it can, and we're just waiting for a huge power-up, but I just think it's a bit suspicious, and I think it could all link in together. That's just my 2 cents, and I will make a full video on that in the next few days. But moving on, because we spent so much time there, Konoha is taught about the Shinjus and the existence of them. Boruto goes on to say that obviously the Shinju reflect the chakra of those who were devoured by them and turned into trees. Obviously Sasuke is one of them, you would know Moegi, and Boruto says that he is the target of Matsuri, who is the Moegi Shinju. Obviously Hidari's one is Sarada and all of that sort of thing, but the main point for Boruto right now is that Konoha needs to be careful because he will be targeted by Matsuri. Amado then pops in and tells us obviously that the Ten-Tails' original purpose is to devour the Otsutsuki, become the divine tree, and take root in the earth, bear a chakra fruit, eat it, devour the planet, and repeat. Everybody knows that. But they've gained intelligence now. We should think of them as no longer beasts who only follow their instincts. Intellectual curiosity generally demands emotional movements and new knowledge based on experience. Maybe that's the information that they want. Information, yes, it certainly is information that they're after. They have curiosity now because they have conscience. Obviously, this is kind of recycled stuff, but we're seeing it in a different context because, of course, we already know this information. Konoha says, are they trying to get information by eating Sarada, Himawari, and me? And Boruto says, yeah, that's true. The one who unites them all is Jura. He is instigating this. He's in a class of his own. He has no prototype like Sasuke or Moegi, for example. He is the incarnation of the Ten-Tails itself. Now, of course, we knew this, right? Of course we did. It makes sense. Obviously, the reason that he looks so similar to Jigen, I believe, is because Jigen absorbed the Ten-Tails chakra, right? So that would kind of make perfect sense. And it's been a theory around the community for a long time, and it's finally been fully confirmed. So yeah, Jura is the incarnation of the Ten-Tails itself. Boruto goes on to say that Jura is the core of the crisis they're currently facing, and it can be said to be the root cause of everything. Now, I think the word root is a very interesting word in terms of, you know, he might actually be like the first Shinju that was born, like, and obviously Shinju, Divine Tree, Root Tree, you get it, you know what I mean? I don't know if that means anything or if I'm just stretching, but there you go. And as we move forward, Boruto goes on to spill the beans a little bit, probably more than he actually should have and more than he needed to. He says that even if we defeat Jura, it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that the crisis of this planet will still come to pass. And Konohamaru instantly jumps on that and says, wait, what? How do you know that sort of thing? How can you be so confident saying that? And Boruto obviously kind of has to backtrack a little bit. He can't answer, and he states that the source is the information of one man. However, he can't reveal his identity for safety purposes for Kashin Koji himself. So Boruto being kind of loyal to his second sensei now, which is obviously 100% fair, and like, I get that. Why would Konohamaru and Ibiki need to know about Kashin Koji? If they did know, it would make Boruto and Koji's life a whole lot harder. So yeah, I 100% agree with and understand that situation. Konohamaru then says, well, if you can't tell us why, then it doesn't fucking matter what you say, you're a traitor regardless. We shouldn't have to listen to what you say if you have no evidence. And Boruto says, we're both the same. You guys are trying to kill me. I'm only alive because of the information I have. Isn't that true? And yeah, it very much is true, yeah. So that is exactly the case. Kashin Koji and Boruto are in the exact same situation. Kashin Koji is only alive in terms of, well, not really, but if Kashin Koji's only not in a dodgy position because of the information that he's told Boruto. And now Boruto is only alive, apparently, because he has the information that they want. So that is the case. Obviously, I forget what one he is. He's Homaru, I think, right? The old bastard says, don't get conceited, aka don't get too cocky, you rebel. Regardless of the situation, we'll have to deal with these monsters with all of our strength. We will eliminate them, that's all there is to it. Funny from a dead man saying that. Just don't really give a shit about him, to be honest. He is the oldest bastard ever, and I'm not interested in him whatsoever. I hate the fact that he's got such a big role, because he's been a prick since the very beginning of this story. He goes on to say that of course you are one of them that we have to eliminate, Rebel Boruto. Whatever your mouth says, it's the same thing. Never think that you can love and leave that room. Essentially, that's a mistranslation. He says, never think that you can leave this room alive. Think and decide. And the other old hag comes in and says, Boruto, on that note, I'll dare to ask, with a serious heart to express my thoughts. Depending on your response, I might at the very least not kill you in a suffering way. Come on, bro. You are fucking 95. Just shut up. Shut up. You are useless. Look at the state of your face. Sorry, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, but I don't like her. She says, answer Boruto. Why did you kill Naruto? What was the real reason? From Shikamaru, Boruto desperately wants to say that, that he didn't and that Kawaki done everything, but he can't, number one, because they don't want to push Kawaki into a corner, Konoha, because they don't want it destroyed, but also, Boruto wants to save Kawaki. Boruto does not want Kawaki being a villain. Boruto wants his life back, but he wants to settle the little squabble that he has with Kawaki as well. So that is the reason why Boruto is not spilling everything that he knows. Of course, he can't really do that. Now, the next page shows Shikamaru absolutely tweaking out due to Omnipotence. So this really does show how powerful Omnipotence truly is. Shikamaru essentially forgets why he trusts Boruto, which is exactly what Boruto described at the start of the time skip. That you can be told how Omnipotence works, but eventually your brain will filter that out so that it doesn't have the information given to it anymore. You could tell somebody how Omnipotence works a million times and they still couldn't understand it, and it will slowly fade out of their brain and they'll forget it again. So Shikamaru, that's exactly what's happening right now. He's forgotten why he trusts Boruto, and he's like, why do I trust Boruto? And of course he says, I believe this is Uzumaki Boruto. I have this belief in my heart. If you believe that, you'll be able to remember the decision you made. So again, that he doesn't remember the decision that he made to help Boruto, but to keep it undercover. It's absolutely wild, but he very soon does. by believing in that premise that he is Uzumaki Boruto, everything makes sense. I know it fits. This guy is Uzumaki Boruto. I can't let him die in a place like this. And that's where Boruto tells them that he didn't kill anyone. The 7th Hokage is still alive. His wife is with him too, in a safe place. It must kill Boruto to not be able to say, my mum and dad are okay, they're not dead. But unfortunately, he doesn't have that luxury right now because nobody can see him in that light. But yeah, it is a tragic situation. But now they've been told, but of course again, nobody in Konoha is able to understand or believe this whatsoever. They just can't. Because right now, they have no evidence. Boruto can't say, oh, this is why I know that they're safe because Kawaki has them locked in the Daikokuten. That just, they can't do that. Again, it would set the plan back a million years. So he is still stuck in a corner. He says, I can't say. But he refuses to rat out Kawaki no matter what. And Ada, as well as Damon and Kawaki to some degree, is quite shocked by this. Again, they're like, what kind of fucking lie is this? Stop chatting shit. You're a little brat. Ibiki starts to interrogate Boruto and is trying to get the information out of him. And then we switch back to Shikamaru, where we get, in my opinion, the most interesting panels in the entire chapter. Shikamaru is chatting to Ino. He says, Ino, it's me, how's Inojine's condition? Ino says he's safe. He's still asleep, but there's no problem. Really good, blah blah blah. Well, how about we just get straight to the point? Is it about Boruto? Yes. This is a bad situation. As usual, I want to talk to him in private. Get him involved in this communication right now. Unfortunately, Ino is not as on board as she was last time, because last time they had a conversation in private, Ino listened in, and she's having none of it this time. Ino says, is that an order from you as the Hokage? I told you before, heart-to-heart communication for personal use is a violation. There's also an obligation to report the contents of communications to prevent unauthorized access. And you're just talking like this. You've already broken 5 rules doing this. I told you it's a top secret mission. I can only serve you. I feel like that's a mistranslation. It means only you can help me, right? They go on. Ino says, I'm worried about you. Why are you so supportive of Boruto? I can't understand it at all. And Shikamaru says, Ino, you can't trust him. I understand your feelings. Omnipotence does this to people, so it makes sense. But please believe in me. I need your strength. I'm not giving orders as Hokage. I'm asking you as a friend. And even as Shikamaru says that, Ino refuses to give him any help whatsoever because she just can't bring herself to do it. She says, I shouldn't continue this. I'm sorry, but I can't help you this time, to Shikamaru's shock. Now, as we move forward with the Ibiki interrogation, he does some slams into Ibiki's face, and into Boruto's face, and obviously does barely anything. Like, he takes the facial damage, but Boruto just doesn't care. Ibiki says that he's wanted to punch him so long for killing Naruto for the past 3 years, and Boruto says one of the coldest lines that he said in the time skip so far. You had free time to think about killing me? I envy you. I envy you having free time, because I've done nothing but run for the last 3 years. My life has been hell. You've been living in safety in Konoha. You've had time to think about me and how bad I am. I've had absolutely no time to stop to think at all. So I envy you being able to do that. Ibiki punches him for that, and Shikamaru steps in and says, enough already. It's pointless. He's not the type to spill secrets from pain. Which, I mean, is kind of true, eh? Yeah, I think this is incredible. Again, this poor bastard has been through so much hell in life. Like, it is such a shame, man. This poor guy has no family that he can go to, no friends he can go to. He has Kashin Koji and a dream, and that is it. His sensei is in a terrible situation. His only friend in the village can't really do too much about it. She can't spend much time with him because he's known as a rogue. It's just fucked. Shikamaru, when he comes in, says that the perfect call for Mitsuki should be done because he can use poison to essentially sedate Boruto in a way, right? Won't kill him, but he will be essentially, his body won't be able to move, is what they're trying to do, right? And so they're like, do you know what, let's call him in. But Konohamaru is suspicious, saying that Mitsuki has a lot of murderous intent towards Boruto, so he might end up just killing him before we get any information. However, that is definitely not how this goes. We switch POVs once more to Ada and Damon with Kawaki, where Ada is saying that they are not being ratted out. Specifically, Kawaki is not being ratted out by Boruto. And Kawaki says, what? To Ada and Damon. Again, kinda backs up my theory that Kawaki is not all with it. Of course Boruto doesn't want to rat you out. Boruto likes you. Boruto loves you as a brother. Have you forgotten this? Like, I don't fucking understand it. I don't get why Kawaki is acting in this way. I get why Damon and that's confused. But I don't think... I don't know. I find this whole thing confusing, to be honest. I don't understand why Kawaki is so foreign to the concept of Boruto caring about him. Like, come on. You know that that was the case. You know that you were tight back in the day. It's a very, very strange interaction. It really is. And as Mitsuki comes into the room, the complete and utter unexpected happens that gives Mitsuki his best character moment in the series thus far. Shikamaru says that basically, control your emotions, fulfill your duty, help us in the interrogation of Boruto, despite, of course, Shikamaru not actually wanting him to do that in the end. But obviously he doesn't want Boruto to die, so he has to play this role. As Mitsuki goes in, the greatest bit of acting takes place. Konohamaru, like I said, just similar to Shikamaru, Konohamaru is like, please don't kill him, Mitsuki, please don't do it. And this is where the Oscar needs to be brought out. Boruto says, Mitsuki, are you stupid enough to still be looking for it? Your son. And Mitsuki pretends to be so incredibly angry, so fuming angry at Boruto for this. He goes, is that all you have to say? Just die. An ungrateful traitor, right? He's fuming, apparently. But when they get close, as you can see in the next panel, the snakes that Mitsuki's planted have broken Boruto free of the cuffs. And he says to Boruto, your belongings are in the security room of the West Building. 2 shinobi are guarding that room. The shackles are off, Boruto is free, and he uses Flying Raijin straight away, whilst Mitsuki doesn't show that he was essentially at fault for this. They don't know, so Mitsuki can't essentially be shown to be a snake or anything like that. Boruto says, I'll say it, it's not like I'm hostile towards you or anything. I'll provide you with the information if necessary. It's upon you how to handle this situation, but I am not going to be captured, but if you want information, I will give you it, of course. And they're like, oh shit, the ceiling cuffs. Obviously, they're like, what the fuck? Like, why the fuck are the ceiling cuffs gone? Because Mitsuki, again, can't really be ratted out for this, which is just great, like, thank God. Mitsuki is a god for this. Mitsuki is a legend, and he goes up in my estimations so much. I think he's been able to do some self-reflection, and he's been able to realise that Boruto's not actually all that bad. And thank God. Again, Mitsuki is important to this story. Mitsuki needs to be on Boruto's side. Boruto and Mitsuki were best boys back in the day. Mitsuki has realised that his son is Boruto, but he might not need that son moving forward. He can be his own man, but at the same time, he is realising that Boruto is way better, more bright of a human being than Kawaki is. Ibiki is fuming with Amado because he thinks that the cuffs were complete dog shit. They weren't, just Mitsuki done a really good job in setting Boruto free. And Konohamaru says, did Mitsuki unlock it? No, that's impossible. The 4-digit unlock code is something only Ibiki, Shikamaru and I know. In the first place, Mitsuki has no motive to help Boruto. That's what Konohamaru thinks. However, it's shown that Shikamaru showed Mitsuki the code to free Boruto from the cuffs. So all along, Shikamaru planned this out. He was going to free Boruto by getting Mitsuki in the room, giving him the code, and freeing him from the cuffs. Incredible plan by Shikamaru and Mitsuki, and a beautiful plan that shows that Boruto does have people on his side. That Shikamaru is putting more faith in Boruto than he has ever shown to anybody before. And it just makes me appreciate him as a character so much more. even if he's forgetting his memories and he's so confused and he doesn't understand why he likes and wants to protect Boruto, well, he still does it because he's just the absolute GOAT. We love Shikamaru here, not a bad word can be said about this man. We move forward with Boruto going back to collect his clothes, just switches in, grabs his clothes and then switches back out. Says, don't worry, it's not your fault, it's fine. Yous might be dumbasses, but it's okay, don't worry about it. I'm just really strong and I use flying Raijin, so it's alright. And we move on swiftly from there. Mitsuki's in there, and he says, I'm sorry Konohamaru sensei, I got a bit flustered. There's no helping it, the strategy was approved by Shikamaru, don't worry too much. Shikamaru and Mitsuki are completely deceiving Konohamaru. It is absolutely incredible, the deception tactics. He's being completely fooled by them. Konohamaru is either an idiot or they are the most believable people on the planet, because that just worked out to complete and utter perfection. The elders say, what a blunder, we've squandered our golden opportunity to kill him, and Shikamaru says, I apologise, we're searching him. Hilarious, because there is absolutely no way that with your 95 years on Earth, or whatever the fuck, how old they are, that you can't see deception like this. But Shikamaru somehow just absolutely does them over, completely outsmarts them. Now, she does say something interesting, that the Lord may surely be very angry. Be cautious, Shikamaru, this matter will lead to consequences. So she might be a little bit suspicious of Shikamaru's role in what just took place. But that is obviously to be explored in another day. Shikamaru gets back to the Hokage window, lights a smoke, and you can see that he's definitely stressed about this situation. I believe that this is a huge step towards a potential death for Shikamaru. Now that might be a little bit too heavy, but I've theorised for a long time that Kawaki will snap, and when Kawaki snaps, his first plan of action is going to be to take care of Shikamaru, because Shikamaru is going to be the one who's snaked him and has essentially worked alongside Boruto the entire time. He's going to get angry with him and he's going to kill him to essentially take that anger out on him. But this might be a little bit of foreshadowing for that, maybe just showing his stress. But as we see him in the Hokage office, Sarada and Sumire along with NPC number 323 pop into the room, and Sarada says, Hokage-sama, what happened to Boruto's interrogation? Shut up and let it go. He ran away. And Sarada says, what? So obviously he is free, which is cool. And I don't really understand Shikamaru's saying, like, shut up and let it go. Like, that's kind of weird. Like, Sarada's on your side, bro. Like, I don't get that. But as the Intel Corps come back into Shikamaru to shut off this chapter, to finish it off, Kankuro is in contact with Shikamaru for the first time in God knows how long. But Kankuro is here, and he says, it's been a while, Shikamaru, sorry for being all of a sudden, but Gaara has been defeated, and my son-in-law Shinki has been defeated as well. It's the effects of the tree like you've said before. Fortunately, both of them seem to be alive. I'll explain the details later. Sorry for being rude, but please lend me your strength. And that's when the scene cuts to the new Shinju, which is Shinki. Shinki is here, and his name is Ryu. The Shinki Shinju name is Ryu, and Matsuri Jura, I forgot the bug one already, fuck. His name's Bug, okay? And Hidari await the 5th Shinju. This is a new addition to the crew, the villain group, and it's only going to get more interesting from here. That is Boruto Two Blue Vortex Chapter 14. We have a hell of a lot to discuss in the next few weeks. There is so much information in this chapter. I think it's fantastic. You don't need an action-heavy chapter for it to be peak, and I truly believe we got all the things that we needed to get. We got, again, further character development for Shikamaru, for Mitsuki. We got, I suppose, character development for Boruto in terms of making his intentions clear, like saving Kawaki and cashing Koji's arses by not giving away too much information, for example. We get the addition to the Shinju group, which should be very, very interesting. And we get a potential look into Kawaki's mindset that has me thinking that he genuinely might have lost the plot. and might be affected by Omnipotence in some sort of minuscule way. But we will discuss that in the coming weeks. If you've enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it a lot if you could leave a like and subscribe to the channel as well. That would help me out so much. We're trying to grow here, so again, I would appreciate any love that I get. Thank you so much. I'm going to leave a couple of Boruto videos on the screen if you would like to continue watching. I would appreciate that a lot as well. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.